What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well, and let's start this video off with a round of applause. We've had some absolutely gorgeous delivery today. If you watched yesterday's video, you'll know exactly why I'm clapping. But yeah, it was nice to see us trade up, fill in this 4-hour fair value gap. We didn't quite reach into the daily bearish order block, but you can see we had a strong reaction to the downside. And started running back on this week's range, which is nice to see. So again, if you watch yesterday's video, you'll know that I was pretty much calling for this. Probably not this bearish. I wasn't expecting this much movement, but it's nice to see we got the reaction we expected. And I also got in on quite a nice move too. So moving into the weekly first, I do want to bring our attention to this orange box. This is an implied fair value gap, sorry. And now I'm expecting this to act as an inversion fair value gap. And what I mean by that is the 50% level. I'm going to be watching this level very closely tomorrow to provide resistance, as I would like to see continued downwards price action. Now you can see that we've taken both the low and the high now off last week's range. So I'm expecting us to stay within this range. I don't expect too much tomorrow, which is fine. But moving into the daily, like I said, that red level should be able to provide enough resistance for price. Price may not even get to that to send it lower. Now, where are we trading to? Well, in terms of discount PDRAs, so PDRAs below the market, we have this volume imbalance right here. So I'll be paying close attention to this to get traded to on the Friday. Yes, we wicked into it today, but it'll be nice to see if Friday can trade actually into that. And if we do get into there, after that, it would simply be this rejection block level right here. So once we get below there, it would be the 50% level as well. And I know we do have high impact news, so there is potential for all of this to happen. But first of all, I'd want to see, let me just make this red. We have consequent encroachment of this wick. But first of all, I want to see, can we trade into this? And then, okay, cool. Can we now trade down below this level? If that's the case, I'm looking at this level to get traded to on Friday. So that's how I'm moving into Friday. Let's drop down to the 4-hour and look at today's beautiful delivery. You can see we fell right out of bed after creating this high. Again, 4-hour fair value gap, bearish order block right here. Traded up into that and then broke down and ran the range, trading down into this bullish order block. Slight retracement, and this 4-hour fair value gap should now act as an inversion fair value gap as well. So what do I mean? Well, we delivered on the downside, we traded through it and closed on the upside, and now we've gone back through it on the downside again. So far as I'm concerned, I want to see this continue to provide resistance. Yes, we've already wicked into it, but we're obviously moving into that Asia kill zone now. But generally speaking, as we trade into here, I want to see continued resistance for price, for potential shorts on dollar and longs on the pairs. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for moving into tomorrow. Let's just drop down to the hourly real quick, see how we traded into that, still consolidating a little. And remember, this blue box is that daily gap, and you can see this gap is also here as well. So that's another reason I want to see it get filled. Whether we get down here, I'm not really too concerned. After this move, I'm pretty happy with the week. Like, obviously, we're taking out both sell stops and buy stops now. I'll just show you what I mean. So sell side liquidity and buy side liquidity has been taken. So we're probably just going to come back to equilibrium, and then next week we'll see a lot more movement. So yeah, generally speaking, rally back into here, resistance, send price lower, running into here, and depending on how overzealous price wants to be, it could potentially even dip down to this consequent encroachment, which also happens to line up with a breaker block right here. So definitely keep an eye on these levels. And yeah, that's everything on dollar. Let's now head over to GBP. And also, before we start on GBP, if you haven't yet joined the mailing list, make sure to do that. My first email goes out in June. I'd love for you all to be a part of it. So definitely check the link in the description, this first link, and you can get on the mailing list. So here you'll see some trades I took. I didn't get to record it, unfortunately, but I was entering as we were in this range right here. And then you can see I got out just above this swing high, partial, and then I took out my full position above here as well. So beautiful trade today. If you'd like me to go into more detail of this trade, drop a comment below and I'll happily make a video on that tomorrow, or drop a like as well, and then I'll happily go into this because I know some of you want to know how I trade. So yeah, very interesting. Let's go to the weekly and see how we're looking. So what you'll find is that pound was quite strong. Pound never managed to take out last week's low, but we obviously took out the high. Let's go to the daily now, and you'll see how we had a large up close. We didn't trade into the sell side liquidity, which I brought our attention to in yesterday's video. Not a problem. If anything, that shows strength. Didn't trade into the hourly breaker, not a problem. Again, we're seeing strength. So what am I looking for now? Well, let me just get rid of these levels. I'm looking for now this fair value gap right up here to get traded to, which is quite an obvious draw on liquidity because this is the only imbalance we have now. In terms of the lowest I want to see price trade, when we drop down to the 4 hour, we should be able to find something. So let's go to the 4 hour. And you can see there's a bearish order block lined up very nicely inside of that fair value gap. So I'm watching for this level to get traded to. In terms of the lowest I want to see price trade, let's see. It's not very clear on this time frame either. We might have to go to the 1 hour. Ooh. Let's go to the 1 hour. You'll see here, once this high got taken out, this is where the change in the state of delivery happened, right? As soon as we closed above this high, that's where we became bullish pretty much. So this orange level right here now is going to be the lowest I want to see price go. Any lower than that, probably not going to get involved. But ideally, this will hold support because this should act like a breaker. Up close, down close. Like low, high, low, low, then we broke higher. So if price wants to fall back into this, maybe during Asia or even during London tomorrow, I'll be watching this level very closely. If we get a nice reversal at say 3 a.m, then we can think about longs with the expectation to run out that Thursday high and hit that 4 hour bearish order block up here in the fair value gap. But overall, I'm expecting a continuation higher. But like I said, we should anticipate some kind of Judah swing. So that's why I'm gonna allow London to trade lower if it wants to and give us that setup. Here's the 15-minute. You can see entering that classic consolidation. There's a nice fair value gap down here to return to and a consolidation here as well. So even more reason why price may want to come back down here. Also a breaker, low, high, low, low. Then we broke to the upside. So watching this candle as well. So if price wants to trade into this level, I'm going to be watching to see can that provide support. And if so, I'd like to look for longs from that into the high. So as price falls down into that, that's when I'll be watching dollar to see if it wants to rally up back into this range, maybe above these relative equal highs, to then trade lower. But yeah, not really too concerned. Should be quite a nice day moving into tomorrow. So finally, I'm going to finish up on Euro USD. We're going to start on the daily now. You're going to see markings on here, which I didn't bring our attention to yesterday. That's because I've been in the charts. So you see we traded down. Did we fill that fair value gap today? Yeah, we filled this fair value gap. So I brought our attention to this fair value gap earlier in the week anyway, and you can see where we filled that completely. So this range now has been rebalanced. Why? We traded through on the downside and the upside. So it's been delivered on the upside, downside, and upside. So if anything, this is showing bullishness, right? Which is in line with our bias. So on the daily, where we're looking to trade to, very obvious fair value gap right here. It'll be nice to see if price can trade up into that. Now let me try and figure out what this level is right here on the weekly. Right, so this level is the consequent encroachment of last week's wick. Now the fact that we're back above that, what does that mean? I want to see it provide support. So let's just get rid of a few of these because it's getting a bit messy. Very beautiful to see how we traded through that. Let's just make that black. Why? Because we've already traded through it. We don't need to worry about that. We're looking for premium PD arrays. Daily, we have a fair value gap in the premium. This is a consequent encroachment level, so it should provide support. Let's now drop down to the 4 hour, sorry. And you'll see how we just traded into this bearish order block. But this here is what we can see consolidation in here. So I wouldn't be surprised if price wanted to draw up into that. And obviously Thursday's high will be a draw on liquidity as well, with the fair value gap being above there as well. So let's get that buy side liquidity delineated like so. And then we'll drop down to the 1 hour. And you can see how we're just in that classic consolidation. Lowest again. Ideally, let me see, this fair value gap right here, I'd like to see that provide support for price if we do come down into there. Again, that's that consequent encroachment, and then I'd like to see a reversal from that level to send price into our buy side target. Let's just drop to the 15. Yeah, you can see we're engineering liquidity, relative equal lows here, here. So that would be perfect for a London session to come down, grab stops, and then offset them where? Above these highs. Inside this consolidation. Yes, there's relative equal highs up here, so depending on how overzealous price wants to get, we may want to reach up there, but generally speaking, this is my target and this is where I want to find support. So I hope that all makes sense, guys. That's going to be everything for today and for this week in general. Again, if you want me to go through my trade executions from today's trading, definitely drop a comment, drop a like, smash subscribe, join the mailing list. Again, my mailing list starts June, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.